I think I've been sharks here.
An ageing population makes older Australians a rich target for politicians.
Hi, Margaret. Nice to meet you.
Keen to court seniors' support.
They're enough to come and see us.
No one could see the arrival of COVID-19, but the pandemic put aged care back in focus for the government.
Those who are more at risk, of course, are the elderly, particularly those who are in aged care facilities.
Advice was prepared and funding freed up to keep older Australians safe.
Certainly there has been a lot of planning in relation to aged care.
But if anything, this pandemic's exposed just how brittle the system is. Breakdowns in communication, failures to prepare the workforce and confusion over lines of responsibility.
There have been some circumstances where things haven't gone as we would like, and the circumstance at St Basil's is one where we didn't get it all right.
The national agency responsible for aged care has now admitted it did know within 48 hours of the first positive test, but didn't tell anyone outside its ranks for days.
There should not have been a hole in our systems. That's been rectified.
As for the Premier Department that keeps the Prime Minister informed,
So nothing from the Prime Minister's Department.
its testimony is that aged care's beyond its expertise.
You don't think the Prime Minister's Department has any responsibility to provide advice?
What
Or
advice
any
would we
need to?
provide, Senator?
People are dying. I mean, is that the sort of response we expect from the head of the public service?
As the primary funder, the Commonwealth is ultimately responsible, regulating the hundreds of providers, both private and not-for-profit, which run the more than 2,700 aged care homes across the country. The cost to taxpayers, $13 billion a year to accommodate nearly 214,000 residents. Untangling lines of responsibility is difficult in aged care, even more so in the midst of a pandemic. The Commonwealth regulates the facilities, but it's the states that manage any outbreaks. Perhaps that explains to some extent the breakdowns in communications. But it'll be no comfort to the families of the more than 220 Australians who have died in such awful circumstances if a deadly pandemic can't inspire lasting reforms in such an important sector. Jane Norman, ABC News, Canberra.